Hi, I'm JJ. Welcome back. This is my monthly roundup. I've already done a couple other videos for the books that I read this month, but these were the last few that I finished up at the end of the month. The first one was called Breathe and Count Back from 10, and that was by Natalia Sylvester. It's a Peruvian American author, and it was a YA book that was about a girl uh, who had a disability. A lot of the stuff being talked about was really interesting because you learn so much about ableism and really how words matter, how we use words describing like lame or using a crutch or different things like that that are insults, but they are also things that are identified with people with disabilities, uh, and it's not something that we naturally think about as harmful as our words and our languages are. We have to be aware of what we're saying and how we're saying it, and just kind of understand our privilege and our ableism in language like that. What was really interesting was also the title comes from being under anesthesia, where you count back from 10, because the main character had to have numerous surgeries and stuff. You get to see her family life, her living daily with pain and this disability. Uh, it like hip dysplasia, as well as one leg being shorter than the other, so it affected a lot of her everyday life. And she lives in Florida. They moved to Florida for all the surgeries and stuff, and she is obsessed with this amusement park that has mermaids, and she wants to participate and be one of the mermaids because one of the things that she can do really well is swim, because she doesn't have to be on land with all her pain and her embarrassment from her movement and stuff. So she is really great in the water, and she really wants to participate in this activity, but her very protective parents don't want that from her. They feel it's childish, a childish fantasy that she should outgrow. They don't see her beyond her disability. You know that they love her and stuff, but their attention to her is more, are you in pain today? Or we have a doctor's appointment today. How are you feeling today? And stuff like that, rather than like seeing her as her. And So she has to sneak around to get this job, and she's really good at it. Because when you have a mermaid tail on, nobody can see that she's different. Nobody can see all the ways that she never felt good enough, because in the water she's the one that they're comparing people to, be more like her, and she gets to represent this magical feeling to other people who watch these shows and think that they're minor celebrities, or they're these amazing beings that they want to grow up and be like. And she never had that in her life, and now she gets to have that, except for the fact that she has to still hide it from her parents and is always worried that maybe they'll find out. It has great interactions among the family. She has a sister who's very supportive, but there's some cracks in their relationship because the sister is a bit jealous of the attention that that she gets all the time, not understanding that it's never about her, only her disability, whereas the sister just wants their parents to pay attention to them. The main character is jealous of the sister because everything is just so easy for her. She's the athlete, can do anything she's ever wanted to do. She's the youngest one, so the parents aren't hyper aware of her all the time, and she gets away with a bunch of different stuff that the older sister would have never gotten away with. So it's just regular sibling dynamics, but with this really interesting immigration story, as well as disability character representation wrapped in. I really enjoyed it, and I am continuously making my way of reading around the world, so that was a good introduction. I would like to read more. If you have any recommendations for books that actually take place in Peru, this one, yes, it was Peruvian author and identity, but I would like to learn more about the country itself, which was not overly represented here. So if you have any recommendations, like I said, please let me know. The other book that I listened to was another Stephen Graham Jones, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite authors. I don't usually go for horror, but I loved his Buffalo Hunter. So I read The Only Good Indians, and I also really enjoyed that one. I preferred the first one, but I really did like this one, and I will be continuing reading from him throughout the next couple of months, as much as I can get. I've been already putting holds on his books at the library, so when they come to me, then I'll be able to read some or listen to some. But this one is, once again, spoilers, but I feel like I went in completely not knowing, and that makes, that's good too. So if you don't want the spoilers on, just, mute this part. But he deals with the horror genre so good because it's creepy and it's out there. So it's horror / supernatural, magical realism type aspect, but very grounded in real important elements. So this one, the themes that he explores through this, fantastical world is he's dealing with guilt and basically revenge or vengeance, and how those feelings fester and lead to hatred. It leads to self-destruction. It leads to cultural breakdown. It leads to so much societal issues that just essentially lead to generational trauma. And just like the other one, you're forced to carry the burden of the sins of your fathers, and how that changes you as a person, how that affects the way that you view the world and your place in the world. The generational trauma here, and us versus them mentality, and just they hurt me, so I want to hurt them, is just so well done. And you're always guessing, what's going to happen. So the spoiler bit is the fact that, so like 10 years ago, this group of people on the reservation, indigenous people, the tribe, they basically kill a bunch of elk, a herd of elk. And they do so, out of season on elder land, like they do it not for hunting. They do it not for, it's not even a trophy. They just literally slaughter them because they can. And they're then not allowed to hunt on that land for a certain amount of time, because that's part of their tribal law. But in the meantime, those elk who were slaughtered reincarnate, essentially, and are trying to take revenge, trying to find the hunters or the people who killed them and take revenge on them. But they're in, human form. So they don't know what's hunting them. They don't know why at first. And there's this like eeriness to it. And then they start like questioning everybody, because once they start realizing what's going on, they think, well, it could be anywhere. They could be in anyone. And it leads to this very eerie distrust amongst, you know, their tribe, their loved ones, just, you know, because of this guilt that they were carrying that they didn't want to tell anyone about. And then it just, such a beautiful, haunting ending. It's descriptive and gory and stuff at times. It is horror. It's creepy at times, but it's so well done, so meaningful and impactful. I finished it like very early in the week, and still just I haven't, like, I talk about it to whoever will listen, and I haven't stopped thinking about it. It just I can't wait to read more from him. But it's just so fascinating to read something that it's not real. It's, you know, kind of out there in the way that it's discussing this thing. But like I said, it's so grounded in emotions and understanding and things that we inherently get. You know, you want to protect your loved ones. You want to protect your tribe, your family, your especially your children, and is revenge the how revenge can destroy that very thing you're trying to protect, and it just corrupts everything around you. The same with guilt, how it festers and it turns to that paranoia of people finding out, people not liking you for what you've done, and always having to hide. So these things are universal, and they're very easy to understand, and that's what grounds this story. But excellent writing. I really love his writing style. I really love how he explains and writes things. The description, there's beauty in this horror and in this sadness. And also, as a huge sports fan myself, especially basketball, having that be a surprise thing that kind of a through line that goes through the narrative of the story it was a really fun thing. There's just this love and understanding amongst for the love of the game amongst the two sides in this, the ones who want the revenge and the ones who are forced to reckon with the damage and the horror that they caused. But there's this through line of the beauty of the game of basketball and sport and team sport and excelling in something and having passion and love for something, and how being so good can bring the whole community up, and they raise as you raise. And could that be could this hope be something that brings them together? Or is this beautiful game, is that gonna be part of what is lost as these two things clash? So it was so cool to have something that I really enjoy, grounding it even more, that I could follow, and a great surprise and fun thing to include in a story like this. So yes, I absolutely recommend The Only Good Indians. The next two, I guess I'll go with the ones that I like and then end with the one that was the disappointment for the month. So the next one I finally finished. It's a chunker of a book, Plain Bad Heroines, by Emily M. Danforth. So it was another horror. October, so of course I kind of read out of my comfort zone here. But this book it doesn't even really fit within that category. It's horror. It's satirical and funny at times. It's a warning. It's got some romance in it. It's like a social commentary, and it's written in two dual timelines. So you have the haunting stuff that happens in the past, and there are some really creepy stuff things in here that are happening. It definitely made me rethink or see Yellow Jackets a little bit differently. I never really liked them, and now I'm even more creeped out by them. And that's saying something, since the Yellow Jackets TV show is also very creepy, but this just adds a whole new level to that. So it starts out in 1902, where this school in the East Coast, an all-girls school, starts to have really horrible deaths occurring. And some of the deaths are violent and really weird, very descriptive. And this book, the whole book is queer. So the sapphic love stories and stuff in here, it does kind of follow the bury your gays trope. But it's really hard to say it does, because it's flat out says that it's a horror, and everybody in here is essentially gay in some way or another. So it's not killing off the one gay character in the show or the movie or the book or whatever. So it starts in this small school, and it starts with 2 deaths. These girls who were in love with each other, they die violently in a haunting way. And then 3 more deaths follow before the school ultimately gets shut down. And then it jumps forward in time, where there's this film crew who wants to make a movie about all those ghastly murders in a Blair Witch Project sort of way, where because there's freakiness happening on set, why don't we amp that up and kind of play to that type of thing. So you kind of learn that halfway through, and I wasn't sure I would like that twist when they reveal that, like, like one of the main girls was in on it, and she's like, so we'll be playing tricks. You have to try to lead us into all these situations. You won't know what's coming, but just know that you'll be safe and stuff like that. But as you start to read through it, you don't know how much of it is for show for her, or how much of it is actually the haunting stuff, like the stuff that happened in the 1900s. So it kind of messes with your mind, because it's told by an unreliable narrator throughout. And so just like the characters, you start questioning what you know and how you know it. And so it keeps going back and forth through these timelines, so that you can kind of get a better understanding. And then you think you understand something, and then, like I said, unreliable narrator, something different comes out later that makes it, everything that you thought, kind of tilt a little bit, turn upside down in a way. And so you never really know how much is real and how much is fabricated. And that's what makes it the creepiest. And then it's also really witty and funny at times. And the uniqueness of it is, so there's footnotes throughout. And the footnotes give a little more detail, but a lot of times they're just like sarcastically random and like humorous, that they're so fun to read, because it's like, okay, is this going to be something pertinent to the book, or is this going to be this glib comment about a character they just described? So that was always fun. There's also art and stuff throughout it. And then it's really cool, because at the beginning, it even has on the first page the creepy little Yellow Jackets, which, like I said, are very prevalent throughout the story. And the cover is red. So when you read the book, there's a haunted book in there that they keep referencing. That's a red book. So they even kind of played up to that. So there's just like a lot of funness, unexpected I guess, production into this book. Just the writing style was unique in that aspect. So it felt more like you were in on something rather than you were reading about something. Like you kind of felt like you were in on the joke at times. You thought you knew more than the characters did, and then you found out, you know, towards the end that you really didn't know. You knew even less than the characters did. So I did not know where this was going a lot of the times, especially the flashbacks. That part was all really fascinating. But I did really enjoy this book. It just took me a while to get through it. And then the book I was disappointed for probably the most a month was Fatesbane. It's a very short one. This was written by the same one who wrote the Unbroken, no, not the Unbroken, the Magic of the Lost trilogy, the first book being The Unbroken. And so this book, I had such high expectations just because I love that trilogy so much. This is completely different story, not even in the same universe. This is almost a ancient fairy tale type of story, which I guess I didn't really like about that. So the ending was left to feel like it was, you know, like, what's the moral of the story? It was kind of ambiguous the way it ended, and I didn't really like that. Sometimes I'm fine with those kinds of stories, but this one I just fell flat. So it is these two constantly warring clans that one, for peace, one gives the other their daughter as a ward. And the two daughters start developing feelings for each other, but their fathers are too full of hate and ambition and lust for power that their relationship could never actually happen. But because it's such a short story, I feel like there wasn't a lot of the world building that I loved from this author's other stuff. It felt rushed. It felt almost contrived in the storytelling, like we were supposed to instantly care about these people when I didn't at first. You know, it takes time to really care about what's going to happen to the people. Towards the end, I did, you know, start caring, and I did understand that conflict because the one who's the ward, the father, her father then breaks the treaty, kidnaps her, and that, you know, begins a war between the two clans that even the daughters can't stop. So it was kind of interesting to see this daughter being in one world and then the other one world being treated well, but always left on the outside because she wasn't one of them. There's always this minor distrust, this unworthiness. She was just a ward, a little above a slave, but not quite one of the clan. And then going back home, where she should be embraced by her family, and there were some in the clan there that didn't trust her. You know, she's been away too long. How do we know that she still has loyalty to us? And so it was interesting to kind of see that conflict within her, especially as the war comes to a close and gets closer and closer, and she doesn't know what side she wants to fight for, or what side she wants to win, what side she feels loyal for. There is something that happens that does make her have a straight decision on what she's going to do. But overall, I felt it felt predictable a lot of the time. It felt like the romance even felt forced, and it just was a huge disappointment. It still was, you know, an okay book, but because my expectations were so high, it just felt like such a letdown that I was very disappointed in. And so this one is Fatesbane. So those are the remaining 4 books that I finished yet this month. I did a lot of reading this month, and most of them were surprisingly really good, especially the ones that were randomly out of my comfort zone. So I think I want to try to do more of that, is read some that I necessarily wouldn't have picked up on my own, but I'm very glad that I read them. So if you kind of been watching my stuff and should know some of my tastes by now by what I'm recommending, which yes, I am all over the place, but I still have themes and character arcs and stuff that I prefer to others. So if you have any recommendations of things that you think I would enjoy, but still be outside of my general comfort zone, my general reading, please let me know. I would be interested in, exploring and expanding my horizons and just seeing what else is out there that I might have dismissed before, but found that I truly, absolutely love. Just like the horror novelist who is now top 5 novelist for me. Just because I wanted to read something spooky for Halloween. So I'm anxious and excited to just find out what else is out there that I might have been overlooking and missing. So anyway, happy November, happy monthly roundup, and happy reading. I hope you have a great day, and goodbye.